Hello and welcome to Hemp Hound TV. My name is Cefyn Jones and I would just like to kind of introduce myself and introduce exactly what Hemp Hound TV is all about. I'm the founder of the Hemp Hound Agency, which has been going on in the industry for about 2 years now. That is an advisory and signposting service for the hemp and CBD world. I was a promoted directory, and it also kind of asks questions about what's going on in the wider scheme of things. And that's kind of where this Hemp Hound TV comes in. Because recently I've discovered that I'm not bad at writing, and certainly a lot of people have been reading what I'm writing, which I'll be honest, I got an E in English language, so it was one of the last things I ever thought I would be doing, let alone people asking me to write things or asking me about what I've been writing. So the problem there is that I'm dyslexic. So, for example, where I've been writing some of these articles in regards to the FSA and novel foods, some of these articles take quite a lot of time. I'm basically writing and then rewriting and then checking tense and then asking my wife Kirsty to edit them, and then I'm scrutinizing them again. And next thing you know, a week's gone by, which isn't really good for me. And then, of course, is it good for the reader? Because I don't do short articles, do I? 10, 12, 15 minute average read time. I'm quite in depth. I do throw evidence left, right and centre regarding on what topic I'm discussing. And well, to be perfectly honest, it may be a frustration for me, but I know there's a lot of companies out there as well who, they work many hours. They are busting a gut. And the last thing that they want to do at the end of the day is go and read a 15-minute article on whatever, So this is where Hemp Hound TV comes in, because I can be a lot quicker with getting out my thoughts on the movement in the industry. And of course, then people don't have to read long articles. Win-win scenario. So yes, and well, who am I to kind of critique what is going on in the industry? Well, I've been about for a bit. Certainly I stepped into, shall we say, the legal game in 2016. Before that, as with a lot of people, I've got a little bit of a past. I think I fell over a pot once, then a seed escaped. But past there, 2016, my wife and I had a business called Lovebud. It's a little bit weird because back then everyone was still like, oh, is that wacky backy, is it? So interesting times. And then 2018, I started working for a trade association where I was advising ultimately companies as their member point of contact on things like, the Misuse of Drugs Act and Misuse of Drugs Regulation. It might be, a growing license from the Home Office, and certainly the requirements for that, as well as farming practices, R&D endeavours, literally everything across the board, which is how when I left them in 2020, or the end of, it just seemed a natural progression to create the Hemp Hound Agency, where I could continue doing those things and help people along in all of their adventures involving hemp and CBD. So basically, what is Hemp Hound TV going to be all about? Well, we're going to be looking at key issues in the industry, industry movement. We'll also talk about regulatory compliance, MHRA, VMD, the FSA, novel foods, and we will be going into wider industry topics, new products, import, export, farming licenses and practices, different emerging markets for the over 20,000 end uses for the plant. So let's be honest, there's got to be a lot to talk about there. And then of course we will be touching on what the trade associations are doing, because they've been active recently, shall we say. So it would be, I think, fair that there is a fair reflection or interpretation on what they're doing, and certainly how that would affect you and I in this industry as a whole. And then, of course, we'll be having a little look stateside, because every time you blink, it's like the US have brought out 15 different brand new cannabinoids, various, and you know, we're starting to run out of letters of the alphabet to satisfy this ever-growing list of cannabinoids. You know, so it'll be interesting to see as well where we are as an industry in the UK versus how the US are developing and pushing forward. So how are we going to do that? Well, there's going to be a load of shorts. I mean, this is just the intro, just to give you a kind of feel of what you'll be dealing with here. You know, so we've got short vids, there will be interviews, and of course there will be a monthly roundup, which will be available through Patreon. So there will be more information on that coming up as we progress. It is a bit of a work in progress, but it also feels like it's something that needs to be kind of launched now. So that's Hemp Hound TV, and I look forward to seeing you in future episodes. Ta-da.